All right, welcome back, everybody, to the Swain Batty League. We are here for the Season 9 Finals, and we're loading up into Champion Select here for Game 3. TSA leads the series 2-0, so looking to close it out in a definitive 3-0. We'll see what happens here.
Hey, they banned the Velkas.
Oh, yeah. So, I mean, me and Swift here talking, we probably agree that there's been some cocky drafting coming out of KIKAS, like usual, but it seems to have been biting them a little bit harder, especially in the last game there, with the Velkas showing twice tonight, but not a third time. And TSA, first pick overall on the blue side, they're going to secure misfortune once again.
Yeah, not super surprised by these bans. The only one I would have thought that we'd maybe also see the Evelyn. So maybe Kick-Ass is thinking that Master Splinter won't pick that in the first rotation of picks, and they can use the next set of bans on it. But I thought that was a pretty big factor in the last game. I would have predicted Hecarim being dropped for the Eve, but not going to be the case as we see some big changes coming out of Kick-Ass as they're going to pick up Karma and Maokai with their first rotation.
Yeah, that's very interesting. You're not picking Zyra nor Sejuani, two picks that have done them well last week, especially. Zyra being one of those contested picks in the pot agreed kick-ass match. Same with Sejuani, but a Maokai early on, we'll probably see it in the jungle, going over to Bora Bora.
Yeah, he played that twice last week, so not a brand new pick by any means. And it worked. I mean, they won both those games, so and it kind of it did its job.
Yeah, it's very odd to see Maokai the way he is nowadays. I think it's just he had such an identity as like the de facto top lane tank, but with that very very slow moving ultimate, everything's a little bit different for him. It seems obviously in the jungle you don't have as much gold, so you're a little bit squishier than Maokai's might have expected in previous seasons. But yeah, like you said, it has paid off for them so far. Looking to right the ship here in Game 3. Gonna be an Ari pick going over to Thrifty Senpai, so that's gonna be let through this time. And the Oriana for Renai circulation.
Yeah, not going for that Ziggs that I would have guessed was coming, but Oriana, another one of those kind of all-time really well-known Blab picks. You know, he's not dicking around, not playing any of those assassins. He's a backline mage player. He's gonna make plays and win team fights that way.
Yep, and then now we see the Evelyn here in ban phase 2. So, like you said, they were daring Splinter to pick it in that first pick phase, and he does not. Followed up by a Kennen ban from Kick-Ass, and we'll see Ashe and another ban come here through TSA. Imagine it would be. Oh man, actually, what would it be here? Maybe a Tom Kench, if they don't want to go up against that for whatever reason. But it's actually going to be a Mundos, another Scotch Knot favorite, taken away. Haven't seen it actually in a while. I think we might have seen it in Tiebreaker Week last time. So
Yeah,
it's been a while.
that was the last time.
Yeah.
Something that's inspired a lot of fear out of opposing teams for only having been picked once.
Yep.
I'm thinking TSA might have something specific in mind if they're worried about the Mundo, as Ezreal going to go over to the Mighty Wolf. So a very, very different type of comp than what Kick-Ass has been running so far tonight.
Yeah, and a lot of mobility in mid lane and ADC for Kick-Ass. So your two carries hyper mobile essentially for these two champions. So gonna do their best to stay alive here in the team fights. Maybe evade some of this wombo that is once again being assembled for TSA. They have the Jarvan locked in for Sword and Mace, third game in a row. And their last pick overall is gonna be their jungler, like always, for Master Splinter. and Pantheon's open, so he could go back to that, and he
And he
does.
will. I
Yep.
think that's a solid pick. This is going to be a really difficult team for KIKAS to handle. They have a lot of mobility, so I mean they have ways to handle it, but it's not going to be easy.
No, certainly not. And just the every TSA lineup they bring to the Rift, it's so solid. It's just like this solid comp that you just have to work through methodically. Like there's no, in my opinion, no particularly weak spot in this composition. It can really do a lot of things, but what it really does best is team fighting. And if you can't match TSA in the team fight, you just lose against these type of compositions they bring. And last pick overall is going to be the Nautilus for Scotchnut in the top lane. So a little bit more pick potential. Maokai, Ari Charm, Nautilus, and his various forms of CC, and some Karma movement speed buff. So they're looking to maybe catch people out before those team fights begin.
Yeah, I'm not super crazy about this kick-ass comp. This feels a little further off of their identity. I feel like they thought that's okay, we're down 0-2 in the finals, we got to drastically change things. But I think they've lost what gave them a lot of their success this season with this comp, whereas TSA got just another exactly what they wanted type of game. And this is one of my favorite ways you could pick the top lane Jarvan, by the way. Hardcore Wombo comp, you get my favorite jungle top lane combo, which is Jarvan Pantheon. You get the Jarvan Orianna combo. Misfortune just there to casually drop some bullet time.
Yep, and honestly, a ton of follow up if Winter's Bite is tagged on anyone. Like both Jarvan and Pantheon, they are melee, but they have abilities that close the gap and get them into auto attack range. And they've done such a good job of following up on whatever Rev and Toad sets up these last two games. Yeah, you might have to imagine that Kickass gonna maybe try something a little drastic here at level 1, or maybe just in the early laning phase, trying some cheekiness. I know Maokai, from what I've heard, has a pretty fast clear when setting up those saplings in the correct way. So maybe looking for an early level 2 gank somewhere, blowing a flash, getting some kind of lane advantage early on for this kick-ass squad. The bot lane, which surprisingly has been a question mark for kick-ass the first two games, Ezreal Karma versus Misfortune Braum. I guess it kind of washes at the end of the day in my mind. Karma really, once again, in the hands of Zwerves, the decider of how this bot lane goes. He's bringing all of the damage and all of the zone control out of all four of those champions down there. So maybe he'll try, see something else in Zyra. I guess that's kind of the idea here. Zyra was up, but Karma it is.
Yeah, like we said, that's really the story of this whole comp. It was just kick-ass. They're down 0-2. They felt like they really needed to change things, so they changed things across the board. Yeah, like you said, a lot of pressure on Swerves to dictate that bot lane, because bot lane has not really gone the way we would have expected for the Mighty Wolf tonight. I expected to see just gigantic CS leads every game.
Yeah.
And they've basically been even games. They maybe give up a death at some point, but then there's one fight where the Mighty Wolf just completely out skirmishes everyone, and he kind of pulls his way back into things. And I mean, Ezreal's very good at doing that. There's not many champs in the game with more outplay potential, at least not at AD carry.
Yeah. This is the game he might go out on, man. This is, the kind of flashy look at my ADC skills champ.
Yeah, and Thrifty on that Ari, this is, an even bigger game he might go out on.
Ooh, yeah.
I don't think he was planning to finish his SBL career down 0-2 in the finals, but here we are. And so he's, picking something where he can more aggressively dictate the plays. And it's a champ he knows Blab's not super fond of. It was, banned last game. But a lot of pressure on both of those guys to step up this game because I don't think they've played as well as they would have expected to so far tonight.
Yeah, no, that's certainly not.
And
Surely
when
both of
you
them are frustrated.
yeah, and especially like, in the SBL when you have one of those two superstar types of teams, you just can't really have nights where they both shoot gold.
Yeah, no, you can't, especially in the finals here. And it looks like everyone TSA is playing to their expectations, or, I mean, far exceeding it. I really have no expectations of Splinter at this point. He kind of just moves the line of what I think is standard Master Splinter play like every week. So, he's been playing remarkably well. And I guess that's one storyline we haven't really touched on that maybe is forgotten: the Splinter versus Thrifty Senpai most winningest SBL player. Isn't there like a count, like a 2-2 count for these guys winning finals?
No,
Or
it's actually not close.
oh,
Just
oh, I'm
Splinter
thinking of
has
purple. I'm thinking of Purple Pick Pie.
yeah.
Uh,
There's a few other people. Purple Wind has won quite a few, but Splinter has won. I forget if it's 3 or 4. But Thrifty has actually only won once. He's lost in the finals 2 other times.
ah, so just
But
another day in the park for Master Splinter. But
yeah, have you seen that Thorn video about how Riot doesn't properly celebrate Bjergsen's greatness?
Hey,
yeah,
I'm feeling like we gotta do that with Splitter, like, oh, it's just another day in the office. He's single-handedly set up everything for his team to be up 2-0 in the finals from both the early and the late game, the shot caller, the out-of-game planner. Like, Splitter's incredible. There is no one that has ever played in the SBL that is as much of a full package as Master Splinter. And he's looking like he's got the inside track to add yet another SBL to his resume.
yeah. I mean, when does this guy hang the shoes up in the garage, man? Because with Thrifty gone next season, and I mean, I don't know what the pool will look like next season, but Splinter is just, the value on this guy is absurd. You spend a lot, but you get a lot. It's not like this big question mark at all any season. He just shows up ready to play, ready to win.
Yeah, I mean, he's honestly improved still to this day every season. Just absurd for someone that's been playing League at a, diamond level for almost 4 years now. But we are onto the rifts-ish.
After slight pauses in time.
After spectator client doing spectator things.
All right, and here we are, folks. Game 3 of the Season 9 Finals. TSA on the blue side, KIKAS on the red side. Either TSA going home tonight with the championship, or KIKAS fighting on to fulfill the script in reverse sweep. We will see. But both teams sticking to their bushes.
Oh, Prom forgot to buy items.
Ooh. Spicy Reventoad.
At least you can't forget the trinket anymore.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, I wonder when he's gonna notice when some kind of ping's gonna happen, or
This is about as late as he could have made it to lane on time, so he is going to, if he notices, miss a few creeps. And I get a feeling he's not going to notice until a little way in.
yeah, surely he forgot, but I like to think this is just mad disrespect, and he's just banking up more gold after he gets like first blood to go back and buy like I don't know, BF sword or something. I don't know. But I don't think we're gonna see that.
Yeah, as much as I'd love to see some BF Sword Braum, I'm not going to put my money down.
This actually could turn pretty sour for Reventoad. And once again, like I always touch on it, it's up to Zwerves here. It's all about if he's gonna land the Karma Qs or at least put the zone down. There's no health pots for Reventoad.
As Master Splinter though coming for a flash kick out of Thrifty. Thrifty flashes himself, but he still eats the stun. Is Thrifty trying to put some damage down on the escape here? The spear coming out. I think Thrifty is out of this one as Bora Bora and Scotch have roamed towards, but Thrifty is very low there.
Wow, yeah, the persistence out of Splinter to keep chasing is crazy, but he keeps landing the spears off cooldown, and they force him to back in his own jungle, and Renai gets a little time on his own with the mid lane wave.
Yeah, big flash down early. And Thrifty forced back in a situation where he can only buy a control ward.
Boom, there we go. Karma Q hits, and no health pots to chug for Reventoad, so hopefully they see this lapse in judgment here and try to exploit it. This is really KIKAS's game to win off the buying mistake.
Yeah, they need to do everything they can, and they are pressuring very hard. Remember, this is an Ezreal lane, so not necessarily a lane that's built to push early, but they are doing so.
Scotch getting kind of low up there with Sword and Mace's Jarvan. Sword and Mace maybe all warmed up now on this Jarvan. Seems to be doing a lot better in the very early lane phase.
Yeah, game 2 much better than game 1 was out of him. And in the mid lane though, Bora Bora coming and gets the root onto Renai, who does have a flash available. He pops both of his summoners there to get out.
That charm almost hit there at the end. Surely would have been a kill with the ignite follow through from Thrifty, but flash and cleanse down, and Sword and Mace calls over Master Splinter for help, and the first blood goes over to Splinter on the Pantheon, like game 1.
Yeah, not a great flash out of Scotch there. He was still, to my eyes, fairly obviously dead. You know, that Pantheon, it's a point-click stun, man. That'll fuck your day up.
Yeah, with those you just have to flash like way sooner than you can even try to estimate on when you're in range. But yeah, so another early first blood for Splinter, and Sword and Mace with a slight CS lead. He's gonna probably be answered back here though, but an assist for him still gonna be pretty good.
Yeah, it gives him a slight EXP lead in this top lane, and it puts them in control of that side of the map. That's what Jarvan's all about.
Thrifty and Bora Bora just lay down that ward on the opposite side of red for TSA, so doing a little scouting game, maybe a little pre-planning ahead with that ward, maybe looking for some Splinter ganks on the mid lane. Or maybe some roams from Renai, but from what we've seen, Renai very okay with sticking in mid lane and just wave clearing.
And watch out, we got Master Splinter coming down into this bot lane. They're getting a flash out of Swerves. I assume they will settle for that. And that might buy what was needed for the Reventoad back, as he is finally going. I give him props for managing to wait 6 minutes. Okay, you know what? No, I take that back. I don't give him props. That was a mistake. He should have backed like 2 or 3 minutes ago.
Yeah, but he did it, and he has all of that juicy back money. Look at this. He's got Targon sprays, control ward, and 2 health pots. That's good. That's a good spot for Braum at 6 minutes.
Yeah.
The Zwerves flash, they're a little preemptive. And like you said, you kind of lose a lot of the pressure now on this Karma.
Yeah, I think he was playing like he might have been respecting a flash stun out of Splinter, but Splinter's flash was down, so... Yeah, unlucky gank for Zwerves. But that's what League of Legends is about sometimes. Being unlucky. See now, Wolf gets his back in, gets Tyr and a pickaxe. And Ezreal is such an exciting champ.
Yeah, and Splinter, he's in the top lane bush here, undetected. They have no idea he is here. Bora Bora's on this top side of the map. Thrifty looked like he was rotating up, and now is called back to mid. And we might see a 2v2 happen here. But maybe not. Bora Bora actually going back into his jungle. Scott's approaching the top lane bush. Knockup's gonna miss, but the stun comes through for Splinter, and that'll be a second kill for him.
Yeah, that was actually misexecuted, but it didn't really matter for the TSA top lane. As Splinter now 2-0 before 8 minutes. Gonna be a lot of damage down onto those turrets.
Oh yeah, the wave just coming in now for reinforcements. So yeah, they're gonna easily get this down to half.
Yeah, and Scotch does not have a teleport available, so he is going to be very far behind up in this top lane. He's down a little over half a level now.
Yeah, so they're gonna keep that tower up for now. Probably a good thing, actually, because Swordmace wants to keep the laning chase going, so he can keep, I guess, potentially freezing up on Scotch and just zoning him out and abusing him even more. Maybe even setting up a tower dive that he thinks is safe.
What the MF ult coming out. Wolf fairly low.
Yeah, but just Arcane shifts out of it, so...
Yeah, he's Ezreal.
Yeah. It laid a little bit of the damage down, but at the end of the day, I'm not sure if it's worth.
Alright, speaking of questions, we know fight happens here. I want to know why Sword and Mace has a Hex Drinker.
Scotch not in the 1v2 situation against Depth Charge, gets channeled, and he's gonna hook into the tower and stay safe. You know, both Nautilus and Maokai do magic damage. That is a fact. They do magic damage. They have
also
magic
do
damage.
Physical damage.
They do. I'm just saying, it is a fact that both of those champions do magic damage. Thrifty, Senpai, Ares does magic damage. You know,
that's a really bad decision out of Sword and Mace. Hex Drinker is not something you build first, unless you're really getting shit on in a specific matchup. As a Wolf kind of takes a big turret shot there. He's kind of playing with danger down here.
Yeah, and that's a Mighty Wolf specialty though. He stays right out in front of his tank line a lot of the times. Ooh. Tries to combo in.
A sexy combo.
Yeah. Bernie has to burn the flash to stay alive here. Bora Bora potentially in the vicinity, but Master Splinter, he now jumps in, but flashes will get Mighty Wolf to safety. Swerves with the Karma Q on the backside. Takes out Reventoad. And now Bora Bora's coming in from the river, but no follow-up through the Make It Rain. And Dragon Control is all up to KIKAS if they choose to execute on it. But they're potentially looking for a tower dive here. Thrifty Senpai, he might be going over the wall here, and he does. Charm is going to miss to start this one off, and now the teleport comes through from Sword and Mace. Maokai ult to maybe just disengage from the fight, or to keep it going. Bernie Sanders turns around, lays down the ultimate. Thrifty Senpai gets incredibly low. Sword and Mace chasing, gonna get charmed, and no one dies.
That was a very surprising no-death fight.
Yeah, I know. Wow. Yeah. Once that first charmed miss from Thrifty, it looked pretty low percentage play for KIKAS, but they get out with their lives, and Scotchnaut gets some free push here on the top lane. Bora with the insta flash, not gonna chance it. 3 members of TSA in the vicinity, and now they start the Drake.
Yeah, they got a pretty good setup here. That should be a Drake for them, as Scotch is in a lot of danger here. He has to pop the depth charge defensively, and Sword didn't have the Cataclysm to continue that chase. Free Dragon over as a Shockwave over the wall, putting half health down onto Thrifty Senpai. But a nice set of return damage there on a Blab.
Yeah, wow, that was actually a surprising amount of damage.
And Bora Bora takes the second blue. Or third blue, sorry. Or maybe second? Maybe third? I think it's the third. I think it's the third.
Yeah, I don't know. But Splitter lays down the stun into Bora Bora. There's gonna be a Winter's Bite to follow it on through, but can they proc the stun? And it looks like they won't be able to. Members of KIKAS are there to defend him.
Man, it really feels like KIKAS are hanging on a razor's edge on some of these plays. As,
Yeah.
they're still, I mean, down 2k gold at 13 minutes here. Not an ideal place to be. But it feels like if one of these plays just goes slightly right for TSA as they come in, Master Splinter gets the stun onto Thrifty, but I think he'll be able to ult out of there.
Yep, so Pants done for Spirit Rush. Might see them return before his flash comes back up, and before Spirit Rush as well. But Scotch, once again, he was left alone up top, and he's going to keep hammering it down, doing what he can make the most of it. The Sword and Mace continuously rotating down to the bottom side of the map. So aside from the first split and the first brick gold in TSA's bank, fairly even across all the lanes except maybe bottom lane. Looks like we got a 20 CS deficit in favor of Mighty Wolf here on this Ezreal.
Yeah,
Like
nothing.
that might keep extending too.
Yeah, nothing substantial. As I feel like we're kind of starting to enter some power spikes here for KIKAS. As top laners are going to fight. Maybe Scotch is at a point where he can kind of fight back on Sword and Mace, putting down a lot of damage here.
Ooh.
As a depth charge coming out as friends are showing up, but
yeah.
in the bot lane, Swerves in a lot of danger, has to flash out of the Make It Rain. As now Wolf putting down a lot of return damage. He might be in double kill territory here as he is arcade shifting forward, going for the kill in a pretty standard spot, but he does not find it. So close to a double kill, but he gets neither.
Yeah, just one auto away, but just out of range. Bernie Sanders staying alive. Not blowing the flash there too. That's a good amount of patience against an Ezreal. But I think they'll answer back with a bot lane tower take.
Yeah, that was really good for KIKAS. They needed something.
Rotated pinged out. Actually, that was a red ping, so it's a ping out from KIKAS, but TSA, they're already on it with 3 members. Bora Bora and Thrifty there are there. And yeah, they're going to dissuade TSA off of it.
Yeah, the first time we see a Rift-Tailed contested all night. So, game slowed down quite a bit here. Down to only 1,000 gold lead for TSA. There was a tower match on the other side.
Yeah, Master Splinter, he got those 2 kills really early on, but now I was about to say, when will he make his next move? And here it is in the top lane. Scotchnaut cuts down, and he avoids this gank entirely, but there's 4 members of KIKAS moving up the river. I don't know if they see this one coming. Root comes in on the Sword and Mace, and he's actually going to get hooked in. Mighty Wolf is here. Going to lay the true shot with Barrage, who's going to be flashed out by Sword. And now we got everybody up on the top side of the map. very low health tower here. Winter's Bite lands on the Thrifty. There comes the stun, and there comes the damage. Master Splinter finishes that kill off, but KIKAS will answer back with that top lane tower.
Yeah, nice play out of KIKAS to match the tower there. It doesn't look like TSA is really in a position to capitalize on the Thrifty kill. Circus does have a teleport available, but Reventoad getting really chunked out here as the Mighty Wolf flashing forward. He wants this kill, and he is gonna get it. And it doesn't look like KIKAS is done. They disengage out of the map ult, but Splinter gets Reventoad there. Or sorry,
the Mighty Wolf. Oh! Double Shockwave. Bora Bora has to flash out, but Splinter with the flash over the wall. The stun in the follow-through comes through. Double kill for a nice circulation. So a 1 for 3 in favor of TSA.
Yeah, and it looks like they do capitalize on that Thrifty Senpai kill with a huge fight, and they are running straight towards the Infernal Drake, although Thrifty has returned, forcing the flash over a 9. That might not be enough as he gets that kill. Now Bora, sorry, Bernie Sanders spot being engaged forward on Thrifty Senpai, going for the auto kill, flashes out before the second turret auto, and it's a double kill for Thrifty.
Wow, yeah, Thrifty showing up big there. Spirit rushes into a lot of danger, but pulls off a double kill of his own to answer back all of those kills on the top side of the map. Splinter and Sword Mace maybe looking like they wanted the Infernal there, but they have to back out now. All 5 members of KIKAS are going to be there momentarily, and they essentially hand the dragon off to KIKAS. Will there be any sort of contest? I don't think so. Splinter already backed to base, so Infernal Drake going to be rewarded over to KIKAS. But still a 2k gold lead remains, or a 1k gold lead remains for TSA.
Yeah, the worrying thing with KIKAS right now has to be that all of that gold is on Master Splinter.
Yeah, and the really worrisome thing that I saw in that little scuffle there by the blue buff, and after Bernie Sanders bot used the Misfortune ult, Mighty Wolf was safe on the side with Ezreal, seemingly in a really good spot to lay down a lot of damage, but Shockwave eliminates Thrifty Senpai. But Splinter does that same thing. He did that to the Mighty Wolf. He basically deletes him all by himself. So that's how big Pantheon is right now. Renai Circulation is showing he's pretty big on the Orianna too. So if Thrifty or the Mighty Wolf are caught out by any CC, they're dead. And that's a pretty scary prospect.
Yeah, and like we said, we don't feel that great about their late game either. So it's not like they're in a great situation to just stall this game out for a long period of time. As they're making a big push with this Rift Herald, they get the tier 1 in the mid lane. I think that's where that's going to end. Yep,
down goes Rift Herald, rip. But yeah, it was enough to finish off the tier 1. And Sword Mace, looks like he's getting zoned in on, but he will back to safety.
So Bernie Sanders bot doing something I don't see a lot of with a Merc Treads on the Misfortune. Oh no! Thrifty, not again!
Spirit Rush is up, and I don't think he believed Blab would pull the trigger there.
And what a statement series of plays out of Blabs, who is sick of being in Thrifty's shadow, gets the 2 easy kills, and it's looking like KIKAS are going to have to be in full retreat yet again as the Mighty Wolf gets blown up for 9 with his 5th kill of the game. MF ult putting out a lot of damage from the side here, but it's looking like it'll only be the 1 kill. But that should put some big pressure down onto this tier 2 in the mid lane, as Bernie Sanders bot is really splitting away from his team there. Scotch feeling a lot of pressure to make a play here, and he is putting down a lot of damage. But Renai tosses a shield over the wall, putting down some damage as well. A 1-for-1 on the tail end here, as TSA gonna retreat out.
Yeah, too many low health members to try to stick around and fight in between towers, essentially what they're doing there. They're up to 5 kills now, and up 3k, but the charm lands, and the Shockwave gonna be dodged out by Thrifty with the Spirit Rush this time.
And look at that. Surrender vote failed for red team.
Wowzers.
That is not a good sign.
No, that... Man, I mean, let's just hope that they're memeing. Maybe that's like an inside joke we don't get, but that's...
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for here, because, I mean, it's only a 3K gold lead. You know, it's not a great place to be in with the comps, but that's still... There are plenty of playmaking abilities on KIKAS's team.
Yeah, and I mean, why... These guys... They're the ones that should believe in themselves the most. They had a reverse sweep last week, almost lost a best-of-5 with a 1-game advantage, but still came back. I mean, these guys are all about putting it into clutch when it really counts. So
yeah, and I can't imagine ever surrendering an elimination game in an SBL finals. That would be a pretty... Things that would be going pretty awful for a team to ever do that.
Yeah. But we'll see how this one plays out. It's TSA in the commander seat though. A little over at 23 minutes into the game here. 3K gold lead, 4-0 and 3 Pantheon for Master Splinter, 5-1 and 2 Orianna for an eye circulation. A lot of damage coming out from those two alone, and it's all about the wombo combo that the guys have been landing consistently in these fights. So Drake's coming up in 60 seconds. Gonna be another Infernal Drake. So something that TSA can surely have if they wait it out here. They set up the vision accordingly, as they are doing right now, clearing out some and setting some up on the blue side of KIKAS. Ooh, Shockwave lands onto Zwerbs, but he shields through most of it.
Yeah, I appreciate Blab's willingness to pull the trigger, but I'm not sure if Swerves is the one that you want to do that on. But now Bora being engaged on, as meanwhile the AD carry's fighting over on the other side here as Bernie Sanders looking like he's gonna go down. What?
Oh!
Everyone's flashing, everyone's everything.
Yeah.
Bernie Sanders gonna go down after blowing both his summoners.
And that's just actually some pure cockiness out of Bernie Sanders, thinking he can contest Mighty Wolf one-on-one. Like, they're essentially even in gold. No, just kidding. Mighty Wolf's like 1,000 gold up on you, dude, and he's playing Ezreal. Like, I think it's just some cockiness that got to his head there. His team's not around, and he dies out solo. And
yeah, that's a big deal. But oh, Master Splinter going for the stun, forces the flash out of Thrifty.
Yeah, no Spirit Rush still too. So actually, that actually stopped the Dragon take right there.
That's huge.
Yeah. Yeah, that was surely what I thought was a dragon going over to KIKAS there. Turns into something else.
Been restarted. Blab currently has almost no mana.
Oh, there's teleport wards in the back for Sword and Mace here for a Cataclysm. But they're not going to do it.
No, they were just a little too far out of that one. And that's a big deal because, like we said, they have comeback ability here. And now they have a 2 Infernal lead.
Mm-hmm. Yep, Murrow Mana completed, Blade of the Rune King. Sheen now completed for Mighty Wolf, so he's working on that Triforce, that legendary 3-item spike for Ezreal coming up soon. And so KIKAS actually doing a pretty good job here of keeping the battle line even, it appears. A little bit behind River on their side, but they're keeping it steady. They have bot lane pushing out. They got Scotch up there, teleport up, pushing that one out as well. So really it's just a fight over Baron control. And it's just kind of a dance while KIKAS keeps clearing waves and farming up. So that Hex Drinker, he finished that. That's a full Maw Mortius.
Yeah, I don't want to talk too much about Sword Mace's builds.
Well, surely he'll be safe from any kind of R8 combo that comes his way, and he does have the Dead Man's Plate, working on some kind of major Magic Resist item. Yeah. Never mind. Let's not talk about it. But now, both teams, it is ARAM mode, folks. What would be an SBL best of 5 match without a little bit of ARAM? And yeah, this is pretty much straight up ARAM. The side lanes are pretty even. It looks like top's gonna be pushing out for TSA, but maybe bot pushes out for KIKAS. Maybe not actually. No, that one's gonna stay pretty much frozen there.
No, that's gonna push for
TSA.
KIKAS.
KIKAS?
Yeah,
TSA's wave's gonna get there.
Doesn't matter. It might matter.
Actually, I don't know. Anyway,
we'll get back to it, folks.
True Shot Barrage clears out the mid lane wave and stops the push from TSA, all 5 members. They're trying to bait something in a bush, though. KIKAS has the ward there. TSA maybe kind of out of sorts here. They look
too
confused
sure
what
they want to do,
play
but
is.
now they see it. They go
Oh!
50 and there's the pick. The Jarvan combo. They don't even need the command shockwave as they are pushing this one forward. I don't think they'll be able to get a second pick here, but they have an inside track to the second turret.
Wow, I thought that was a pretty reaching play, but it was actually just enough to take Thrifty out, and he even used the Spirit Rush there to try to get out of the Cataclysm, but to no avail. He's deleted, and he's up in 15 seconds. What can TSA do here? The Flash Shockwave comes through, the Misfortune ult, and Master Splinter ults in on top. Everyone from KIKAS is dying. Double kill for Splinter. And to Mighty Wolf, the sole survivor for KIKAS here as the siege continues on the inhibitor tower. Stun comes through, Arcane Shift away, heal. The stun's now coming through, trying to keep everything up, but the flash goes down too. Godlike for Master Splinter. And surely, I don't think it'll be the game here. Swordmace goes back in, he lands the knock-up onto Thrifty. Oh! The double up from Bernie Sanders, and there is a full team ace, but not for long. Zorbs is now up, and TSA are backing up.
And this is why Master Splinter's teams always get the benefit of the doubt when they spend so long just dancing around looking for a play, because when they get their pick, they know how to push their lead. All they had to do was take out 50 Senpai, the sole source of real wave clear for KIKAS, and then the next wave that crashes, they go for a massive tower dive and blow this game wide open. They're now sitting on an 8,000 gold lead, an inhibitor down. And that could be the backbreaker. It is going to be very tough for KIKAS to find a comeback at this point.
Yeah. 7-0-3 Pantheon, 7-1-6 Oriana, 0-0-11 Jarvan for Swordmace. Kind of funny, but he is there when his team needs him. He's been setting up a lot of the initiation here. And then that last play, he was actually just a flash shockwave delivery ball there, which really turned it on home. So.
I mean, when your Oriana is as big as Blabez, a flash shockwave delivery bot can be a pretty valuable, assets.
Yeah, absolutely. And KIKAS doing everything they can to keep control and keep TSA off this Baron, but it's going to be very, very tough here. Thrifty staying in mid, waiting for waves to crash so he can clear them. Oh, hook goes on to Reventoad. I don't know if there's a lot of follow-up here onto the support tank, and it looks like they'll disengage. Wind Drake is up, but can't go down to the bot side of the map without losing either a Baron or a couple towers here from TSA.
Yeah, looking like they want to go for a push onto this top lane turret as a Mighty Wolf back in base, so this should be a pretty easy push to start. With these a bit away from this turret, but TSA playing this with a bit of respect. And watch Thrifty, he is playing this pretty aggressively from a below flank. The guys kind of know they got to make a play sooner than later, as the supers are starting to crash into their base. Thrifty keeps moving the line forward, but he only gets the charm onto the Braum. Is now Sword of Mace going for the play on the Thrifty. He takes a good chunk of damage and has to blow the ult defensively. And that is a big tool down for KIKAS, who are going to have to send somebody back to defend their base pretty quick here.
Yep, next star is going to get beat up here. While TSA ride these waves in very slowly, methodically, taking their time. But actually, they're going to accelerate it. Oh, Master Splinter goes in. Renai Circulation picks up that kill onto Scotch and Not, but Bernie Sanders, he gets answered back by the Mighty Wolf. Maokai ult comes through to maybe stop any potential re-engage.
Yeah, maybe bit off a little more than they could take there, as it's only a 1-for-1. So KIKAS successfully stalled the game out for now. As, oh no. Renai in a really bad place here, and Sword popping a really bad teleport to the bot lane. As, KIKAS maybe going to try to turn this into a Baron. They think they need a big play to get back into this game, so they're trying for it here. Scotch does have a teleport available when he spawns.
Yeah, and Splinter is recalling, or sorry, Sword Mace is recalling, doesn't have the teleport.
But Splinter is there to attempt the 50-50. But he's being zoned out pretty aggressively. I don't think he's going to be able to get into this pit. And that's going to be Baron secured by KIKAS. And I don't think they're going to really lose much for it. Although KIKAS has split. Splinter with the stun onto Bora Bora. He should go down here. He'll take his time, but he will.
Prevato, he's still chasing. He's looking just to keep tagging Thrifty.
And this could be big.
Yes, but
Splinter's in with the flash stun onto Thrifty. Puts the damage down. The 8th kill of the game. And that's 2 big kills. Now TSA gonna try to retake this mid lane inhibitor. They did get both Nexus turrets.
Oh wow. Yeah, they're gonna try to end.
Yeah, if they caught those Nexus turrets going down, which it looks like they have, they don't need creeps. They have 15 seconds till Bora Bora, but they're playing with a lot of respect for these opposing Baron creeps.
Yeah, and Renai Circulation just came back from base. He is now together with TSA. As they make this push in, the stun goes on to Scotch Knot, and they're just going to try to follow up and take him out. Separate the team with the Glacial Fissure. Redemption comes through from KIKAS. And Mighty Wolf, he goes down from the Shockwave. Thrifty Senpai is up in 2 seconds, and it's just going to be a couple kills for TSA. Nothing else to gain.
Yeah, not a super well set up team fight out of TSA there. They had the opportunity to end the game, and they do not get to take it.
But they'll take a Windrake as a constellation, double up on that.
Yeah, you know, when I can't get the Nexus, I sometimes settle for the Windrake.
So, I mean, we're still looking at, you know, a little less than 6K gold lead here for TSA at 36 minutes in the game. KIKAS, you know, good Baron take there off a very misplaced Renai Circulation, keeping them in this game 3, but TSA still in the driver's seat. It's all about just sticking together for them and landing the Wombo combo. And that's all they need to do. Expose Nexus and then mid inhibitor gone. KIKAS's SBL Championship dreams rely on defending the mid lane.
Yeah, they've got a long time to buy out here before that inhibitor respawns too.
Yeah, luckily they got the Baron minions here, so that's helping them out. Scotch picked up a Titanic Hydra on Nautilus. Can't help but think that's not standard.
No, that's not super common. I
don't
like
think so.
it.
Yeah.
Especially when he's 0, 5, and 1.
Yeah.
He needs all the frontlininess he can get.
Yeah. Yep.
As TSA gonna come wipe this tier 2 top off the map.
Yep. No brainer there. No sane team tries to defend that this late against a team that has such a lead. Charm just taking up, or actually just a couple Qs, taking up Sword and Mace there. And TSA, they have the top lane wave. Mid lane has now met its counterpart. And Master Splinter's going to go try to push that in. So they're going to try to get some dual lane pressure going. So maybe to try to execute a tower dive onto the top inhibitor. But wait, Splinter actually goes all the way down to bottom. So
yeah, I'm honestly starting to wonder if TSA has realized that the Nexus is exposed.
You have to believe they know that. They're just trying to go for a very safe in.
They know that. They're taking risk by approaching towers. When they have a lead, there's no longer Baron creeps to like scare them out of the mid lane, like there had been before. They're just adding risk to the game.
Yeah, and Master Splinter, he cuts back down mid lane. He was actually gonna get met up by all of KIKAS there if a hooker at depth charge would have gone on him, but he just routes himself back into the bottom lane. Charm comes through onto Reventoad, but he'll shield a lot of that damage. And the wave clear is enough for KIKAS in that top lane. And Scotch is answering Splinter in the bot.
Going for the play, gets the flash out of Renai, but I think that'll be that. On the spot lane, Splinter tickling away. And Scotch and Knots. There we go. Sword Mace is finally showing up. Scotch flashing, but he's taking the full combo. He's got no way out of here.
Oh!
Depth charging to buy some time. And actually, he might be taking it up, but no! Goes down at the last second. Meanwhile, on the other side, Thrifty got killed by Blaboor. And that's the two solo laners down for KIKAS with a Nexus exposed.
Yeah.
That should be the game.
I don't know what happened there with Thrifty, but he still has the flash up. And Blab, we just saw his flash get taken out by a charm not too long ago. So some poor positioning out of Thrifty Senpai perhaps here. And now the stun goes on to Bora Bora. He goes in onto the back line. True Shot Barrage rains through. Reventoad picks up the kill on Swords. Bora Bora goes down, and now it is only the Mighty Wolf for KIKAS to defend his exposed Nexus. But it will not be enough. TSA in 3 games decisively take out King's Incredible Kool-Aid Stand to win Season 9 of the Swain Batty League.
Yeah, what a awesome finish to the season for TSA. After a really poor showing in the second round robin, going 1-4, they win out on tiebreaker night, and now they sweep the championship, which we did not see coming.
No, not a sweep like this. This was so dominating out of TSA, and it was kind of hard to gauge what kind of form they would come in. You know, like they took the last 2 weeks off, you know, because they got that bye to the finals. But man, they looked like they were in prime regular season form here, and they win it decisively in 3. So yeah, let's try to get the whole team up in here. Just a second.
Joined your channel.
All right. We'll have the TSA members slowly filter in here.
User joined your channel.
I'm back.
User joined your channel.
Boom, and there it is. The last member of TSA. So congratulations, TSA, on winning the SBL Season 9.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Kind of anticlimactic, right? Like, I think a lot of people thought the script said reverse sweep kick-ass. But you guys shut that shit down real hard.
Yeah.
What was the preparation going into this finals? How intense was it?
I practiced Braum.
I went in practice mode.
I figured Blitz would get banned, so I started doing Braum.
Yeah,
Steal
in
the
our
script when
weeks
they get
off,
it.
in our weeks off, we actually practice like 5-6 games or so on every Tuesday. So we actually molded
Stay
our teamwork
fresh.
a lot more, and I think that really helped us. Because in the season, we were unable to practice at all.
Yeah, I mean, you guys were really crisp. And I think Swift said it best, is like, with Master Splinter teams in general, it sometimes seems, like, especially in this last game, there's kind of a lull at the end, trying to set up kind of that game-winning play where you guys are just like, hey, hopefully we'll get a pick. But once you guys do get those picks, once something does happen, you guys are so decisive as a team, just barreling down lanes, picking up so many objectives. It's really hard to answer back from that.
For that ending, we could have just like went up mid, or we could have dived a tower or whatnot, and we played it a little safe just so we didn't throw. I would say that's the more reason why it was a lull ending.
I have to ask, did you guys know the Nexus turrets were down that whole time?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted to go mid, but we did that before, and I don't know.
The strat was
We
to
could
have
probably
Pantheon
could've just done
ult
that and
in,
end it.
Place a ward. Jarvan
Be
teleport.
real.
They get it.
Yeah, there was legitimately a point where I was asking whether you guys had like not noticed that the creeps had taken both Nexus turrets because you were kind of playing like it, but
Yeah, we knew they took him during the Baron fight, but
It did take me a solid 4 minutes to realize I didn't buy items at the beginning of the game.
Oh,
But
yeah.
don't worry, it did not take us that long to find out.
So it was pro strats. That's all it was.
Yeah. So as far as drafting goes, how pressured were you guys in the draft?
Vel'Koz.
Yeah, like I gotta bring it up. You know, like Vel'Koz coming through not only in game 1, which might have been explainable, but game 2. I mean, you guys seem to have gotten your Wombo combo team comp every single game. Is that just because you guys have such a diverse champ pool, or is it because you think KIKAS dropped the ball in the draft, or what do you think happened?
I think the best draft that obviously I like them banning the Hecarim, but I think the best draft someone could do against us is simply ban Ori, Vel'Koz, and Ziggs. You ban those 3, we have not been playing as well when that happens.
Aha.
I am best talent in Korea.
I mean, we have other picks that we would pick, but it just doesn't mesh as well.
And when we
I
get
can't
that
just
like
press R to win.
when we get that strong front line and we have like the backline champs, carries, that's where
Yeah.
we shine.
Yep.
So I want to ask Sword and Splinter here, because you guys were teammates last season, where you went 5-0 in the regular season and then were swept 0-3 in the grand finals, and it was pretty shocking to most people. And then this season, you started 5-0 again. You go 1-4 down the second round robin. Was there ever a moment where you were like, not this shit again, that you kind of like started to lose faith?
It comes up in your mind, but I also am more confident in like we had that was a shorter season, was it not?
Yeah.
Yeah, going through this, and then we went through that area where we lost a lot of games, and then we came back and we did more practice. I was more confident this season, absolutely. I mean, I was overconfident last season because we went 5-0. But I was trying not to be too eager, and I told everybody that, like, show them a lot of respect so we don't grow and fail like last season. Essentially to Sword and me, we had this talk before.
yeah, we didn't want to repeat of last season.
Yeah, surely. And so I guess Bernie Sanders and Reventoad, question for you guys. So throughout the whole course of the season, your bot lane for TSA kind of in the shadows, right? You have a lot of hype to try to battle against. You have Cammer, Mighty Wolf, and then you have like very good in sort of balanced bot lanes and Salvo and Sensory, and then near the end of the season, Hibs and Hook resets were just crazy. And you guys here, at the end of the day, just not flashy, very consistent. What does it mean for you guys? Like, what was it like building the synergy throughout the course of the season?
Painful. I think we only won maybe 2 lane phases. I think like the entire season. It was pretty rough for us at the beginning.
I think we just did better outside of laning phase most games. A
whole lot better.
Like, as long as we had the team to back us up, we could do what they needed us to, and I think that was what was important to us. So, I think we did what we needed to.
Yeah, and it paid off. Like, you didn't have to have all of this playmaking ability. I mean, aside from Revan Toad's Blitzcrank, game 1, that was truly spectacular.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, you guys usually just play it cool throughout a lot of these games. You make it out of laning phase, and then, like I said before, you guys and your teamwork in TSA, that's what it seems to be all about, and that's how you guys won the whole thing here.
It took us to the second half of the season to figure out what was working the best. Like when we started losing, and then we're like, okay, we need to go back to Wombo comps because that was the best for us.
Yeah.
Yes.
It really did. That dry spell was the realization that we have messed up by going away from it.
Yeah, Splinter knows. You got to pick the easiest team comps to execute, and then you just win more games. So it's like, it's so smart. I don't know why more SBL teams don't do it.
I don't know, man. 4th title.
Oh,
Hey,
I'm
1 for 1 so far,
Yeah.
right? It's my first league.
Yeah.
I want to know.
Yeah. Swift
I reclaimed the throne for myself. I don't have to share it with Purple and On the Wind.
Oh, yeah. The definitively most winningest player of all time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Splinter, you've won 4 out of 9. You're reigning champion, 2-time reigning finalist.
Should just go on top.
12 bucks next season? Is that reasonable?
I hope not.
Yeah, Swift got anything else, or?
No, I think that does it.
Yeah, at TSA, any
Actually,
shout-outs you'd like? Oh, go for it.
I want to ask, because I think you'll know. Blab, what does this bring your average finish up to?
Oh, what is this? I didn't do the math.
Oh, no!
No!
Here, I'll do it quick.
I was like, I know he'll have done the math. And done the math.
Doing it quick.
All right. Well, in the meantime, TSA, any of you would like to make a shout-out to your parents, maybe loved ones, maybe want to call out some people for next season?
It actually brings it up to 4.
Improvement, baby.
I want to give
just
a shout
all
out
the
to
teammates. Oh, go ahead, Sword.
I want to give a shout out to all the top laners. Since I won this SBL, y'all ain't shit. Y'all ain't gonna never be shit. And y'all can't come see me in top lane.
Oh, man.
Anything else to follow up on that?
My buddy Sinister Beyblade, better luck next season, dude. Get good.
Rip Beyblade, man. He had a fantastic end of the season.
Nice pun.
Yeah. So.
Shout out
Beyblades,
to
you let him rip.
Yeah.
Get it?
all my team, because I enjoyed playing with this team. We had a good set of people together. For the most part,
yeah.
it was pretty positive. I probably was the most negative, but I talked a lot, so. Congratulations on the win, guys.
And to our beautiful fans, of course.
Yeah, and to
wouldn't be
think
here
twice, our
without them.
owner and drafter.
And only fan.
Oh.
Now, I have, Gaius Baltar is our fan now, after his team got knocked out. I'll take the 2.
Yeah. Well, I think that will do it. Well, yeah. So congratulations to Think Twice the Scrappy affiliates once again for winning season 9 here. That's it, folks. Here for season 9. We'll be back for season 10 at some point. Hopefully bigger and better, and Riot Games with a higher budget as well. That would be appreciated. But the Batty Esports fun never stops, because next Wednesday is the draft for the Batty Overwatch League, which I believe was on this channel. Swift, I think it's Swain BL.
Yes.
So stay tuned for that. And obviously there'll be more information coming out about Epic Legendary Season 10, folks. It's 10 seasons of this. It's pretty crazy. But yeah.
Hell yeah.
Bye. Bye.